Hi everyone, it's April with Hair 101 and I'm just here to tell you about the Redken color lines and when to use them, because I've had a lot of questions lately of people that aren't familiar with the lines and they're like, how do I know which one to buy? There's so many. There are several. So right off the top of my head, I'm just going to tell you the ones that I know of. Okay, so there's Shades EQ, there's Color Gels, Chromatic Ultra Rich, Chromatic. There's also Chromatic Beyond Cover, the Shades EQ Gloss, and the Fusion, and also the Blonde Idol. So that's 7 different lines. No, it's not. I can't count it. 8 different. I'd say 7 different lines because the chromatics are all kind of one, but they have like 3 sections. So 7, you can say 7 or 8 different lines. And it can get a little bit confusing. So if you're familiar with Redken, this might help. But if you're not familiar with Redken, you should really learn something from this video. And I hope it helps you guys. Here we go. So to start off, I just want to explain to you why they have so many different lines. The reason why is because they do different things, obviously. So you as a stylist need to be able to decide in what situation is the best opportunity to use what line. Let's start with the Shades EQ because it is the most mild out of all of the hair colors that they make. One of the most mild hair colors at all, like on the planet. It is so gentle that it almost thinks it's a conditioner. In fact, on the scale of the pH scale, it's slightly onto the acid side, which is amazing. Very conditioning hair color. It is deposit only. It's a conditioning color gloss. So this actually lives on the outside of the hair shaft. So it's really quick. The processing time is only 20 minutes, 40 minutes for gray coverage. And on gray coverage, it's more of like putting like a sheer nylon over the gray. Like you can still kind of tell that there's a variation of color, but it's very beautiful and it's such a great tool if someone isn't quite sure that they want to go like solid, cover all the grays. If they're looking for just a blending tool, it's a great tool. This color can also be used with heat. If you want to preheat a warm dryer, you can stick them underneath it and it processes a little bit faster. You can do 15 minutes with the heat. It just helps to deposit the color a little bit faster and helps it to oxidate. So you actually have to use the special developer that comes with the color line. If you try to mix this with 10 volume, it's not going to be the same thing. I mean, I've done it. It still does something to the hair, but it opens the cuticle a little bit. So the color's not really true to what it should be. It kind of makes it even a little bit more sheer because it's kind of lifting and stuff. You definitely can try it if you want. It didn't ruin the hair, it didn't melt off. But if you're using it, use with the processing solution, the Shades EQ processing solution. Another thing I love about this line is that they have this crystal clear that you can add in. It's just dilutes down the pigment of the color and it's really cool. You can even make pastels with this crystal clear if you're mixing. So if you wanted to make like a pastel purple, you could take the kickers in this line, which is awesome. They have a yellow, orange, red, and violet kicker in this color line, and there's just pure pigment. If you wanted to make like a pastel purple, you could take the purple kicker and even mix it with like a 9V to make it pastel because the 9V is so light. Or you could take some of this crystal clear. And you can even play with hair swatches. We did that when I was at the Redken 5th Avenue. We just played. We took all the different color lines and tried to make all the fun, like Pravana type colors, the really, really pigmented colors from just the color lines. And we were able to make almost every single color. In fact, I don't think there was a single one that we couldn't make. It was really difficult to make the teal, but we could do it. It just was a lot more work than just putting a tube on. But the teal was the only one. Everything else was really simple. For instance, if you wanted to make like a rose gold, you could take the 9RB and dilute it down with a little bit of crystal clear, and you could even add a teeny bit of the red kicker if you wanted it more of like a pink. But crystal clear and red kicker and a little bit of the 9RB, I mean, you could get so many different colors of pink, so many shades. So keep that in mind too. If you already have the hair pre-lightened, this is a great tool. My favorite thing to use the Shades EQ for are toning or glossing, obviously, but they're also very fun to make like pastel colors if you already have someone that has really pre-lightened hair and you just want to add some pops of color. It's a great tool because it's quick and it stays in really well if you put it on dry hair and process the full time. I've been guilty of this and I still probably will do it in the future because sometimes you just are in a hurry and you have to do certain things to just make it look decent. I have at the shampoo bowl towel dried the hair and done like a 9V with the processing solution and dumped it on the head and massaged it and let it sit for just a few minutes. And as soon as it grabs the pigment, wash it out. The reason why that works is because I don't dilute it with the crystal clear and but it's still not as good because the color molecules aren't on the hair as long. It would be better and you get more longevity from that color, that tone, if you were to blow dry the hair and then add the crystal clear in it so it doesn't turn purple if that's what you're worried about, and apply it all over the hair and let it process the full 20 minutes, then rinse it. That will last until they come back next time for their hair color. Instead of the other way around, it lasts, and it does still do a good job glossing it and evening out tones, but it slowly will fade and eventually they'll be left with a little bit more of a brassy look. But I still use it that way. I break the rules sometimes. Another great thing for color glosses is if you are retouching someone's hair. Let's say someone comes in and I'm going to give you a scenario just to give you an example. Someone comes in with gray hair and they've been coloring it in Oliver 5 for years and years now, but they're just doing a root retouch. So it's great because these colors they like match each other. So if I were to do like a 5 in the fusion, like a 5 gold beige in the fusion, I could come over to the Redken color gels chart and match it to a color gloss and just put that color fusion or the Beyond Cover, whatever you want to use, on the root area. And then you can gloss the rest of the hair just to freshen it up with this, because you don't need to blow out the cuticle and lift out hair pigment. You're just needing to refresh it by depositing it. So this is a great tool for that also. One of my very favorite blacks of all time is the 1B in the shade ZQ. It is the glossiest, prettiest black I've ever seen. It's so shiny and it has that beautiful little teeny hint of blue. It's not obnoxious at all. It's just gorgeous and it stays in really, really well. So if you're looking for an amazing black, that's what I love. Okay, so that's the shade ZQ. It's kind of like the most conditioning, mildest hair color that the Redken has. A step up from that would be the shade ZQ cream. They look like boxes like this, and they're kind of in between. Like it's a step up from this. It's still very conditioning. It's very mild, equalizing conditioning color cream, but it has more of like, this one I said was like a sheer nylon over the hair. This is a little bit more like a pair of tights, but not quite like tights that are stretched pretty thin. And they also, I don't have a box to show you, but in the shade ZQ cream, they also have a Cover Plus for gray hair. It is awesome. I need to get all of those, first of all. And I want to just tell you guys right now, they have a clear in that one also. And in the shade ZQ Cover Plus, the clear in that is amazing at releasing and removing the pop, funky, punky colors in hair. So if someone comes in with teal hair or bright pink or something they're like, okay, I just want to be back to my natural color. And you're like, oh God, what am I going to do? Throwing bleach on there is a really bad idea, because what you're going to do, the bleach molecule will go in there and it will swell the color because it's swelling. And then the color molecule is going to be stuck in the hair shaft bigger than it even was before and unable to get out of that cuticle. So you're not wanting to put bleach on stuff like that. I would use the shade ZQ Cover Plus in the clear with like a 20 or 30 volume, and it will pull that hair color right out. So go ahead and give that a try, you guys. Also, I think that they've come out with another shade that's not on this, that's like a pearl. I know they're coming out with some new colors soon with the Shades EQ creams, and they're going to be amazing. So I'm really excited about that. All of these are 1-to-1 ratio so far, like the Shades EQ cream, the Shades EQ, or the Shades EQ Color Gloss, 1-to-1 ratio, and the Shades EQ cream is also 1-to-1 ratio. With the Shades EQ creams, you will be using the peroxide developers, just the 10 or 20. They're not made for anything more than a couple levels of lift. Like I said, it's not a super permanent color, but it's definitely going to give you a little bit of lift, unlike the Shades EQ Gloss, which will give you no lift. It's more just like a color on top of whatever you have. So this will not lighten your hair at all. This will lighten your hair a little bit. So thinking of toning again here, if you have someone that you've lightened to a yellow and you really wanted them to be like a white, but you don't want to throw bleach on their head again, that's when it would be a great idea to grab your Shades EQ cream, 20 volume or 10 volume, and you would even tone it at the same time. So you would do something like a 9P or a 9V, and you would mix that with like a 10 or 20 and process it for the full amount of time, which is 20 minutes up to 30 minutes for gray coverage, so, or gray blending. This is also just going to be blending unless you're using the Cover Plus. The Cover Plus will blend gray, brighten, correct, and more. So definitely the Cover Plus is like a little bit more of a power punch to that hair, but it's also the creams. So that's awesome. That's the situations I would run to these for, is lifting out fun, punky colors, covering gray that you want it really mild, or like a iridescent look still, or brightening the hair. You could use these for toners, but these were also some of my favorite colors to play with when we were making the swatches of hair that were different colors. I can kind of show you some of those. So like some of these swatches that we made, this was made from Redken hair color, just by mixing these colors. I'm pretty sure this was the Shades EQ cream in the 9RB. So they have a 9RB in the Shades EQ creams, I think now. Pretty sure, but I used this with clear. I did the clear in that, and it was this beautiful pink color. I should totally do it. What do you guys think? Ooh, pink, yes. So the other thing I'm really loving about the color lines is they come with these little information sheets that you can get at the beauty supply store. And it tells you exactly when you would use them, formulation and tips, and it even has the little sidebar tells you corrective colors. For yellow is purple. So it tells you how to correct when you're trying to get rid of undertones. And it has all your like information for a quick guide. Because we've all been there before. We've all gotten in the cupboard to mix some color and been like, I haven't used this line for a while. Wait, what was it, 1-to-1? How many minutes do I process? I can't remember. Is it 15 or 20? And it's a pain to read that teeny little writing. So it's really great to have these little info sheets. So make sure if you're picking up a few bottles to try that you ask for a little sheet at the beauty supply, because it helps a lot. Okay, so then what should I go to next? I think I'll talk about the chromatics next because they're the next up on this scale. We're getting a little bit more alkaline as we go up here. So we started at the acid, like barely on the hairline of acid. It's getting a little bit more alkaline with this. This is actually the peroxides. It has ammonia in it. Now we're going to talk about the chromatics because this is actually a brand new line and it's really amazing. I hope it helped you guys and I love you all. Thank you so much for the love and support. Just a few weeks away from having this baby and hopefully we can get back into doing hair full swing. And that's about it. I want to make sure that you guys know how much I appreciate you and you guys are the best. We'll see you next time. Bye. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe.